Hey everybody, it's Margo at My Favorite Quilt Store, and I was working on the solar flare, and I think I told you in the first video that I had made a mistake on this one, or had gotten it too small and in the selvage, and so I was going to need to take this piece off. So instead of doing it just on my own, I thought I would show you guys what I do, my process. So anyway, I didn't realize it until I cut the block. I didn't realize it before I squared the block up. So my block is already squared up. So I'm gonna have to take out a couple of different pieces to take it off to get to where I need to be. So the first thing I did, I'm gonna use this highlighter tape so you can all see it, is that I put it across the seam line on the first one, because I have to start from the very bottom. So I'm gonna remove this, remove a portion of this, and then take this out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take this off. Now it's a very little piece, and also all of the edges are bias on it. So the chances of this coming out and being able to use again are not very good. So I just want you to realize that before you take something out that's this small in here, that you're probably not going to be able to reuse this, because you're going to stretch it out of shape and get it cattywampus. So it's easier just to take this completely off when you first start. So the first thing I do is I put the tape on the back from side to side so it will hold it on as I take this off. And I work from the front here and from the side here. And I first start with my little snippy scissors, little snips, and I go in, and I'm telling you, I made these stitches just teeny. So I'm trying to catch a stitch, not the fabric, and cut that. So once I get this started and I can see that I've got a little bit going, I'm going to move to a razor edge seam ripper. And to do that, you almost have to have 2 fingers to do it. So what I'm doing is I am keeping the fabric apart from one another, and just cutting the threads as I go along. And that's the one thing that's nice about this. If you do it really nice and slow, you're only going to cut the threads, and you're not going to cut into the fabric. So I'm just barely going across it, kind of just cutting the threads. And you can see this goes pretty good if you keep your thumb down on the bottom one, and I'm pulling with my top 2 fingers this one as I go along. And I am using have this on the sewn side, so that's where I'm pulling from. So it may not be that distorted when I'm done. I may be able to iron this up and get it back into a good shape and reuse it, but I'm just not sure. So first of all, I'm going to get this completely off, and again, I'm just barely touching those threads, and making sure I don't hit the fabric whatsoever. Just touching those threads to give them like a little clip as I'm going across here to get this all done. Okay, so now it's off. You can see all the little threads in there. It's just perfect. Fabric's not cut. There may be a chance that I can salvage this piece. I just don't know yet if I can iron it flat enough and that it'll still be in shape. So now that I've got this one done and completely unsewn, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take my tape, use the highlighter tape, because that way it's purple and you can see it easier. Kind of razor blading them. And this tool that I'm using right here, you can use any sort of like scalpel. Tula Pink has one. There's a lot of people that have these. But what this is just I buy them on Amazon. And it's a hair removal piece that like you would use on the back of your neck or different places just to remove some fine hairs. So I've got this pretty far apart from here. And so this is all that I would need to go on this, because this is the piece I'm going to remove right here. So now I've got my little threads out of this. It's not distorted whatsoever. I'll come back in and sew that in. So now what I need is my piece of tape. It's going to go the length of this. And the reason why I'm putting this down here is because, as you can see, I've removed that piece, but my paper, if I didn't have it, would have come off. But since I have that tape on it, it's still affixed to it so that I can go back and just continue to sew right on this same paper with no problems whatsoever. So, gosh, I wish I hadn't made this mistake so I didn't have to show you this, but you know what? Every now and then you make a mistake, and so I thought it'd just be easier to show you guys the mistake and how I'm correcting it versus I was gonna sit at home and do it in front of the TV by myself. Okay, so this one's gonna take a little bit of time. Now I can lay my new piece down here, flip it over, sew it, come back, sew this back together, and then add this, if it's still good, back down here again so that it can lay down like that. And then I'll have my block back together once again. So I hope this helped you in learning how to take out paper piecing the easy and fast way so that you don't hurt any of your fabric or nick anything up. Happy sewing, guys.